entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Yes,
Screen time salutations. What's going on? Forgot who's hosting this one. Keelan, is it you?
I have no clue. I don't think we
right.
discussed that one.
No, we
you know
did
what?
not.
We're co-hosting,
There you go.
and we don't even have to have a specific one single person intro. We could double over each other. They'll figure it out later.
I'm good with it. What's going on, man?
Not much, brother. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Thanks to you guys for listening. We are Screen Time Continuing, and we got Keelan here, and missing Mike and Dijon, but they'll be back at some point. But while we are together, we figured that we would get into this new trailer for Moon Knight. So, do you want to give us some background, Keelan?
Well, I'll start with there's not a lot of background to give on Moon Knight unless you go and deep dive into the lures of comics. The one thing I know about Moon Knight is he's not really a staple character as of yet. This is really the attempt to push him in that direction. He's always been, I guess you would call him an auxiliary villain, where we all know the main big villains, say like Spider-Man has the Rhino and Kingpin and Sandman, Electro. Moon Knight is one of Spider-Man's villains, but he's more seemingly like an anti-hero than a villain. And I think this is really his breakout. So I don't know if there's much background to give on the Moon Knight character, unless, again, someone knows a lot of the old school comic lore. I guess we call that canon nowadays. But as far as this show, the background I have on that, it is slated to come out at 6 episodes full for the season. It is starring Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, and yeah, it's apparently been something that Marvel feels like they've had an ace in a hole in a while, and they're ready to throw it on the table.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the character Moon Knight actually came out in August of 1975. And it was the first appearance in Werewolf by Night number 32. And so, yeah, this has kind of been I've heard other people talk about it. I'm not a huge comic book head, so I'm not going to pretend like I know anything. But I listen to people who do know stuff. And from what I gathered is that this character was always kind of on the back burner. Didn't have much of a vision for what this character was supposed to be. And so, as you said, Keelan, it seems like Disney's digging through the archives and trying to pull out some maybe marketable franchises that aren't attached to the stuff that's already popular.
Right. And every source that I went to or looked into all started with exactly what you just said, which I would have said the same thing. It started in 1975 when the Werewolf by Night, which, if you know of the Werewolf by Night comic, it wasn't really a long running comic, and it also wasn't like a really big name. So that kind of just plays to the point of, let's call Moon Knight, for layman's, a new character. Like this is almost the reinvention or the introduction, not even a reintroduction, but really the original introduction of Moon Knight.
Yeah, he was also in the West Coast Avengers for a little while. But yeah, I mean, this character, again, very much in the background. I guess the main character's name is Mark Specter, right?
Yeah, so here's something. So watching the trailer, watching the original trailer and the new trailer that was released this morning, in fact, I've come to some conclusions about Steven or Mark or Moon Knight, which I believe is now 3 different people.
So it would seem from what we see in the trailer that it's 3 different people inside one person, right?
Correct. That is
Mhm.
what it looks like to me. It's and the sleeping disorder. I don't think he that is alluded to in the original trailer. I don't think he has a sleeping disorder at all. He's simply clicking out into different characters, and when whomever has dominance. So what do they call that? A multiple person disorder?
Yeah.
No, dissociative
Yeah,
identity.
right, DID.
Right. So there's a few other shows out there like this. One of my personal favorites to reference is United States of Tara. If this is anything like that with an added superhero element, oh, this show is about to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It makes me sad that Legion didn't get any of the accolades that it deserves because Legion was doing this years ago.
Yeah, but Disney wasn't ready to attach their name and or really, even though they were, but you know what I mean? They weren't ready to bring it in-house and kind of put it on the front porch for everyone to see.
Which is a shame because, man, that's a great series.
I think it's better than this is going to be, but I do think this is going to be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into this. It's only 55 seconds. It was dropped this morning. It's titled Protect. And so this is the latest trailer. And I think the series comes out next week, right?
Yes, next Wednesday, in fact.
Next Wednesday.
So a week from today.
A week from today, which is today's the 23rd. So it'll be the 30th?
Yes.
Okay. 30th of March.
So for those who are paying close attention, guess what next week's episode is about?
Yeah. Right. There you go. We'll have something to watch.
All
right. All right. I got this on mute too. So folks, if you want to watch the trailer, I put the link to the trailer in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. 55 seconds. You can watch it at your leisure and then come back to this or watch along with us, but it won't have, because I do not want to get copyright struck from YouTube. So
and a quick question before we press play, did you say it's on mute too, or it's on Mewtwo? Because that could be a Pokemon reference.
It's muted on Mewtwo. How about that?
Indeed.
All right, so let's play this bad boy. All right, so we get the character Mark Specter, played by Oscar Isaac. Interestingly enough, and I think this is just one of the alter egos, but he's got an English accent. And I don't know why they chose that, but maybe it's just to differentiate the alters.
Characters.
Yeah, that he has.
I think it's more for Oscar Grant. Oscar Grant. Sorry, it's because I saw Stephen Grant on the screen. I think that's more for Oscar Isaacs and his acting. Something that I think has to be noted, especially when you're because at the end of the day, he had to tap into some level of method acting to utilize multiple characters for one particular character. And that's a dangerous thing to do when you look into various things I'm sure we'll see through the series, but not just the accent, but I'm sure he'll walk a different way when he's a different character. Of course, when he's Moon Knight, I'm sure for the majority portion of him being Moon Knight, it won't actually be Oscar Isaac. It'll be a stunt man.
Probably.
So I think it's going to be kind of tapping into that more so because of the acting. We'll see things like an accent change, maybe mannerism changes and things of that nature. Whereas if this were to just stick to the comic strips, you just change the name and keep moving.
Yeah, we see that in this scene right here. So he's in sort of like a mental asylum looking thing where he's staring in the mirror or staring at his reflection, and he's talking to himself, a la Smeagol. And you can tell that one of his affects, which is, I guess, the character that we are introduced to first, is a kind of timid British guy. And the guy that is in the reflection seems to be the actual Mark Specter.
Right.
Because also this one says Stephen Grant. So, and this is why I use closed captioning, because that could be right there a little bit of a hint. So one is Mark Specter, one is Stephen Grant. I guess it's Stephen Grant is the timid guy. Right. And Mark Specter is the guy in the reflection.
Right. Through so a little diving. So there's 3 personalities, one being Moon Knight, which has the name isn't Moon Knight. There's an actual name for Moon Knight. Then you have Mark Specter, who is like kind of like a world-class thief. And then Stephen Grant is like I guess they're not going to give him the playboy millionaire, billionaire vibe in this one. He's just probably going to be kind of well off, maybe a psychiatrist or something like that.
Yeah, he kind of looks like an academic, maybe. So maybe
Yeah.
an Egyptologist, because they got to tie
You're
it to
right.
Egypt.
He worked
Yeah.
at the no, because he worked at the. It seemed like he worked at the museum.
Yeah, maybe
Huh.
he's yeah, he might be an Egyptologist. This is
We'll
all
see how that plays out.
mummy curse stuff.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we continue on here. He's talking to his reflection. He's having a little chatty
Right.
poo.
Chatty poo.
And there's who we see is Mark Specter, which is the reflection, and you can kind of see the mannerism change already.
Right.
To be honest,
right.
You know, timid versus very open chested.
I was looking at the same thing. Like you can actually see the full figure. The shoulders are back. They're sitting higher. Everything. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's a good representation.
He looks taller in the reflection.
He does. Yeah, definitely. It's because he's hunched in the on the left. So that's good. Then he gets this little scarab thing.
Egyptology, yeah. Now, with you, I'm glad you used that word exactly, scarab, and not just like an Egyptian beetle. I mean, I know, but I know. That made me think of scarab, blue beetle, but not blue beetle, the original scarab, because the original blue beetle was just called scarab, and that dates back to.
Isn't that DC?
That's
though?
DC. Yes, that's DC. But that just dates back to making me think maybe there's something in Marvel that is similar that just backdates olden times. So we could even find out that there might be some, and I know these are DC characters, but it just made me think in the lore of Vandal Savage, Scarab, Specter, considering his name is Mark Specter.
It's so in folklore and Egyptian mythology and sort of symbolism, the scarab represents discipline and the beginning of a journey. Yeah, so that, I guess that would make sense. This probably here is maybe how his journey into becoming Moon Knight starts, and that would be kind of a good little symbol, you know, to begin the journey into the superhero character.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, that makes way more sense than them having similarities to DC, seeing as how it seems like DC copied more of them than vice versa.
Right. And this seems to be in the bag where it has some cash and a gun. So this is like a la Jason Bourne's, you know, secret stash that he comes across. Yeah.
And so with you saying the secret stash, that makes me look at that little box he's in, which just looks like he's still in. That to me looks less of an asylum type of a thing and more of a hideout type of a situation, like a Jason Bourne or some level of a secret agent, because that's what TV and movies tell us, is they have these warehouse style places with that's usually their sleeping area,
guns on the wall and all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might be right about that. That's probably more likely. He's got a passport there.
He definitely found his stash box trying to figure it out.
Let's see if I can get that passport real quick. There we go.
Nice. Getting better, man.
Can you read it?
Nah. He's from America.
He is American. So I couldn't get any deeper. No details there.
Give us 6 more months, guys. We're trying to upgrade our equipment.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he's still talking to himself. He's like, "What are you?" And he's kind of coming to this, like, "Do you really want to know?" So this is obviously the beginning of his transformation. And here you see
now it's got to know
orgasming against a wall.
I was gonna say it was on the other side of the glory hole.
Yeah.
But also, though, more appropriate, I also want to know, who the hell did Marvel hire as a tailor? Do you see this white suit? Like, just look fresh, at man. From the breast up, bro. That's nice.
Yeah, he looks like he's starting to Hulk out a bit, though, too. So I'm curious. That's a clean white suit. I don't think he could go very far without messing that up.
Not when you're beating up werewolves. Oh snap! That's okay. Never mind. Nope. We'll get there in a minute. Thinking about the origin of Moon Knight and then realizing what he was punching in the trailer, the first trailer. Jeez, that just made me. I went to that and now I don't remember what I was gonna say. It was in reference to not this. Oh, that is it. What it was. So notice how even in the reflection he hasn't turned all the way, but we see that it went from the white suit to now he has like the emblem and those things over it.
The
So what it
mummy
made
wrapping.
right the mummy wrapping, and it makes me wonder, like you said, him coming into contact with that scarab we saw. Is it the scarab that introduces him to chaos and he already had DID? And so now he went from two personalities to three. Is it something that's already always been in him, the chaos? Because the chaos would be Moon Knight, that's the third, right? Um, and the scarab just kind of tapped him into the existence of it.
I think what
I'm
you have
wondering how that
is
applies.
I think what you have is the classic Jason Bourne thing. So at the beginning of the show, we're going to have him timid. He's going to be an unassuming guy. Maybe he works at a museum or whatever. And we're going to find out that he has this past. His past is tied to his alter ego. His alter ego, who also probably was at some point put into contact with the Moon Knight spirit. So we have like Oscar Isaac trying to figure out what his alter ego is. His alter ego also is was the one that contacted Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. That makes sense. So Mark left Steven in the dark when he wasn't around. He went and became Moon Knight. And
well, I think he became Moon Knight before. So Steven is like, so this is like the Steven has amnesia. He doesn't know that he's Mark Specter, and Mark Specter is the one that already had the contact with Moon Knight. So he's been Moon Knight the whole time, but he just doesn't know it.
Got it.
Yeah, that's what I think anyway.
So he could be an ancient of some sort as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Pretty cool. I mean, I'm just thinking, how deep could they go with the person more so than just the superhero character?
Right.
Like we find, like, and that's why I was thinking of, like I said a moment ago, that DC lore of Scarab, Specter, Vandal Savage. They all were basically around at the beginning of human existence.
I think this is the love interest, maybe, or a previous one, because she calls him Mark, so she knew him as Mark before.
Right, and that makes me think that we're gonna see that people do know the different versions of him, and there are gonna be people who might even know that he's Moon Knight, like the Ethan Hawke character.
And this also might be a flashback to when he actually first became Moon Knight, and that this was the girl that knew him before he was that. Just regular Mark Specter, international spy.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out Mark Specter is an international dickhead.
Probably. She looks a little scared. Here he comes, and
wouldn't you be scared if you just saw your friend grow 7 inches?
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. And he's got the moon shaped sort of crescents. I don't know what those are for. I would assume that you throw them, but
like boomerangs, no.
And so somebody who makes blades, I'm going to say that those are very impractical.
I would say the way he's holding and using them is also impractical.
Absolutely. So especially since there doesn't look to be any handle in between them. Like a handle where he's just holding the blade. Yeah. Not safe, guys. Not safe. Don't grab your blades.
Her name is Layla El Fowley.
Yeah, Fowley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so it would probably be Lila more than Layla. Layla El Fowley.
We got him jumping down, and then this is kind of a cool shot where his cape makes the Crescent Moon shape. And this looks like it's at a rate like a dressage stable. Yeah.
That's weird. That's a really weird setup. Even the way they took that over, I would think they would have. You know what? No, we haven't seen it, so I can't say I would think they would put more thought into it, because there could be more to that shot that makes sense when we see it.
For sure.
In the scene.
In 1 week. And so this scene looks like this is in the Alps in Europe. So I'm wondering if we're going to get multiple European locations in this.
That would be nice.
It might be pretty cool to see, because this is definitely in the
green
Alps.
Screen we got for that one multiverse show.
Right. It looks like he's got a sort of a chase scene going on. And it looks like he shot this guy out of the back of the truck without knowing that. So you see him look at the gun.
And I'm curious to know, to what level of control does either have? Because it doesn't seem like Steven has any control. So
It really doesn't. Which kind of, to me, like that might become a kind of annoying. It depends on how long that lasts, because I could see it being much more like a really long, drawn out Fight Club, and that could be a kind of a cool concept. But I mean,
I needed to know about 40 minutes in. I always say it took Fight Club too long.
yeah,
That is really like probably my main issue with that movie. Is I love Fight Club, but it's like as much as that reveal was like, whoa, it was also like, yeah, you could have told me that earlier. I still would have been impressed.
Yeah, that's true. And here we got this inside of an Egyptian temple. So I think this is where you're going to get a little bit of that folklore that you were talking about. Probably some of the mythology surrounding the Moon Knight spirit.
Right, because it even seems like there's a cult. I'm very so if I'm being honest, I am more interested in the Ethan Hawke character, whose name I couldn't even gather by when I was researching it.
Right.
But
I think they might have done that on purpose.
I believe so too. I believe so too, because it keeps us from being able to dive into the lore. Because I have an idea, but that idea is so far off that I really don't know how to go with it.
What idea do you have?
About the Ethan Hawke character. My idea of the Ethan Hawke
Ra's al Ghul. No, I'm kidding.
Close, very, very close, actually.
The Mandarin.
Yes, like an original version of the Mandarin, like someone who, like, what they don't do in a lot of things is they, until they need it, is they never paint like a mentor or an example that came before something. I could see him being kind of like the Mandarin of this world.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as Mark was doing a certain level of things, he was all right. He wasn't going to be destroying and hurting nobody and doing messed up stuff. Just keep the chaos under control. Then it's like, oh, you don't want to use chaos no more? All right, here, let me show you why you need to use chaos, because we made a pact. And I think it's going to be some stuff like that.
It might be also kind of cool. I don't know if they're going to do this, but it might be cool to kind of tie in, what's it called? The Kermitage or whatever place Stephen Strange trained in Nepal. So maybe he's like an apostle of the place Doctor Strange trained at. You know that, like in Nepal, the monastery he goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be able to tie in multiple other characters too, if he's like associated with that monastery. Correct.
Yeah. So I have a theory with you saying that. So I had a theory that because we were a week away already, and I know we're only halfway through it, but I had a theory that a week away from the first episode, we would get a brand new trailer. That just happened. So I'm thinking after episode 1 next week, probably 1 week or sometime during the weekend, we're going to get a new Doctor Strange trailer, because I caught something that they did with the latest Doctor Strange trailer. So the latest Doctor Strange trailer looks like the exact same, except it's not. And they added America Chavez.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen with this is we're going to find out that Moon Knight also has something to do with the multiverses. And
maybe
I think that he is going to somehow, they are going to somehow find a way to put him or place him into that storyline as well, but maybe short-lived, not like a main character.
Yeah, we'll see. So we got a mummy. Yeah, it looks like Oscar Isaac character, so he is an Egyptologist.
Yeah.
Should make sense. And you don't open the mummy tomb. You know that.
Never open the mummy tomb.
Yeah. And this one looks like he's in some sort of observation. I don't know if it's like a mental asylum or maybe like SHIELD or some sort of overseeing, organization that's trying to keep an eye on him, which would be possible. I mean, it depends on what Moon Knight's power level is. You definitely wouldn't want a crazy superhero.
Right. He definitely strikes me as here we go with the crossing universes again. He strikes me as someone who has like Scarecrow's level of stability. Like he could be the most stable person in the world, or he could be the most insane person in the world. You just
Right.
really don't know.
Right.
Or still across the universes, Joker, or even Zatanna coming back to this universe, because there's dealing with the dark arts kind of drive people nuts. We've seen it through a couple of the characters.
Yeah. Let's see, because I'm wondering. I would assume he's not as strong as Spider-Man. But
physically.
Yeah, physically. So I'm looking at his origins and his powers. Let's see. So Specter is a boxer and a Marine. He's a mercenary as well. So he's a fighter. Yeah. He has weapons such as knives and darts. He has a high pain tolerance and can endure torture. So Specter has access to supernatural powers, including mystical visions. So his power and endurance change based on the moon's phases. There it is.
Whoa,
that's what makes sense. Okay, so that makes sense. So I guess you would see him at his most peak on a full moon.
Right. So around the end of the month, middle of the month. Wow, that's actually really cool. And that just gave me a lot of hope for this particular series, because you add that part in, you're gonna get about 2 episodes where he's gonna get his ass totally beat.
Probably, yeah. And I like it too because you have that tie back to the etymology of the word lunatic coming from the moon.
Lunar.
So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Hopefully they can do this well. I mean, it seems pretty deep, but
yeah, it really seems like this, for once, we're getting a show that is honestly made for an age group
adults
that is over right, age group that's over 25, not just over 18, over 25, and for a group specifically when it comes to lore and thinking about the moon and the connections of the past and the future and all of those kind of things. That's like, this is touching on that dark arts, magic.
If you're a criminal, you should just do your crimes on a new moon every time.
Right.
You don't have to worry.
Right. And I'm pretty sure we'll find out that Mark Specter is very aware of when he is the strongest, and that is when he dominates the most.
Makes sense.
He's probably stronger and able to take over. But just looking through this, like, he looks like a kid in a candy store. He almost looks like he's running through a public storage, right? But that's not a public storage. That looks more like I was thinking of a movie we saw recently. Think about Nobody, when he went to the oligarch's warehouse. Something more like that. Like, that person's way too clean. You definitely shouldn't be there, sir.
Well, in the thing I just read too, he said that there's something tied to mystical illusions. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any element of hallucination happening in this show, and maybe this is possibly a hallucinated area.
And look, and what's on the screen as we say that? And dreams.
Yeah. So he seems to be running away from maybe the MOONKNIGHT altar.
Yeah.
Which would make sense that maybe it is also in his mind too, because you would have those two characters kind of chasing each other in his head.
Yeah. You got to get dominance and control. If it's one thing I've heard consistently about disorders of this nature, there is no calm, right? The calm is outside, but inside there is no calm. There's always a waging war between who has the most control, which is, to me, scary within itself.
Yeah, it's real, man. Definitely. Looks like some shiny things are coming at his hand there. Now we got this shot. It's like, am I some sort of secret agent? And I think the answer is it's much more complicated than that.
Right. I think that's an incredible question. Like, of all the things you can ask yourself or ask this identity, am I a secret agent? That's the answer. Am I human? Can I ask that one first?
Yeah. And here you see him sort of taking a swan dive and throwing his little crescent-shaped blades. hitting the mercenaries. He's still talking to his reflection. This is a little bit more complicated. Obviously, he's very shook about that. This is 6 episodes, so it's going to be a 6-episode series.
And we see 4 pyramids.
4 pyramids, indeed. The Great Pyramids. Here we go. We got Moon Knight protecting perhaps that girl that was at the beginning. Yeah, Layla. It seems like his armor is impervious, at least to bullets.
Yeah, to some bullets and probably anything that's piercing.
Yeah.
And okay, so I like that. We protect the vulnerable. So maybe along with that moon change thing, it's about intent, his power.
Maybe, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, seems to be doing some fighting here. Only on Disney
Plus,
of course. And so we get a little bit more Batman-y stuff. Very much the Marvel's Batman, I think. And I don't know if it'll ever hit that level, but I do think that they're trying to.
They're leaning that way a little.
Yeah, for sure. And we got this, the obligatory Marvel energy beam from the sky hitting the pyramids this time, though.
Yeah, and I like the formation of it. Looks like a reverse pyramid. So you have the 3 points of lightning turning into 1.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. This is the first look you get at Ethan Hawke in this trailer. We saw him in the beginning, but we think that he might be some sort of, I don't know. He looks like a warlord almost.
Yeah,
maybe like an arms dealer or something.
Yeah, well, we also learn, I think it's in this one, that that's the werewolf behind Moon Knight, and that's what Ethan Hawke summons is the werewolf.
Oh, okay. And it's kind of cool too because they make them look a lot like Anubis in the Egyptian mythology. So I like that they made it. It's a werewolf, but it's like an Egyptian werewolf.
Yeah, try to stay current. I mean, typically they could leave it like that and add about 50 eyes, and it would be an Anubis.
Yeah. This is the best worst day of my life. So another little demonstration of the instability, right? Best worst. Very funny. He's got that moon blade thing, which again is not smart, you guys.
You ever see that show?
It looks cool, but those are just maul blades.
What's that show called? Forged in Fire. Yeah, you ever see that? Those blades with no handle and no other way to hold them. Not getting a good grade. Not getting you to the next round, buddy.
Definitely not.
Great work. Great design. It's pretty, but leave it in that holder.
And that shot there, he was beating up one of those werewolves.
Let's call him an Anubis wolf.
An Anubis wolf. All right. I like it. This seems to be the same area that we saw a little bit earlier where he does the Crescent Moon cape thing. This is like the dressage area with the horses. Kicking butt. Seems to have some sort of heightened agility at least, right?
Yeah.
Again, seems to be throwing his moon. They love these little moon blades, man.
I think it's going to be the main staple for him, his weapon wise. Like when you see that blade come out, you know for sure that's his finishing move coming.
Right. And that's it, Moon Knight. And it's streaming on March 30th. And you all know where it's streaming anyways. I'm not giving them any more of my money.
Play the last 3 seconds. I think that's where you see the werewolf hand.
No, it's just the jump across. Yeah. Just the jump across. But yeah, man. So what do you think? We got a week. Obviously, we're going to be rating the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to rate the first episode. Always got to rate the first episode, then we wait till the season's over.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Oscar Isaac's a decent actor. So we'll see what he does with this. It could be a cool concept. I don't know. I hope that there's like a good villain. I feel like Marvel's been missing really good villains for a while. So I'm hoping that there's an actual villain like I want to see, because a lot of them just are not doing it for me lately.
I think what happened with Marvel and villains is they fell victim to the anti-hero made them too much money.
Mhm.
So you can't have an absolute villain anymore because you
Right.
understand that nobody wants to hate every character. So if they could like a character but still dislike them, like Thanos, which is who I'm talking about,
Mhm.
um, they're gonna keep trying that for a while until they remember we like to hate too.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and not just that. I mean, like, I just want to be compelled by a villain. I haven't seen an interesting villain in Marvel for a while.
hmm
Um,
That's a DC thing now because in real life
mm,
we know evil is there,
right, right,
so we're gonna get
right.
the Banes and the and really it's really Batman villains that are really the most likable villains in today's world. We can relate to them. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless we talk about Lex Luthor, who to me is still the best. Him and Doom are the best villains ever, but Doom is the only one that I've named it at all that is on Marvel. So
I would just like to see some more creative villains, like the Purple Man from Jessica Jones, Kilgrave. I think that would
fair.
be pretty cool. I mean, I just want to see like a
Purple
villain
Man
that,
name sucked, but he was really good villain.
yeah, yeah. But like something interesting like that. Like, oh, what are the implications of having a power like that? Oh, it's cool that he can use it to be such a villain, but he's not like a OP, Thanos villain that every
Right.
Avenger has to fight.
Right. Can we get? I'd take a show on Bubble Man. Honestly, is that his name
Bubble Man.
or
I don't
Polka
know.
Dot? What is
Polka
his
Dot
name?
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Polka Dot
yeah,
Man. Polka Dot Man.
yeah.
I'll take it. That's a really interesting thing to want to learn about. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, there's just so many, and what's funny is like when we talk about the Doctor Strange trailer, which we'll do next week, we get the tease about the X-Men.
hmm.
So
Oh yeah, because right,
Professor Xavier's
Professor X is
in,
in it. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe that's how they kind of try to expand out the power sets, because right now everybody feels like they're all Captain America. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and I know there's varying levels, but like, Thor is just Captain America with lightning.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's just Captain America that can shoot webs.
No, he's
Yeah,
Captain Iron. He's kind of Captain Iron America.
that's right. Yeah, Captain Iron America.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's like I would like to see some unique type of powers
I
come,
agree, and I
you
think
know.
X-Men would definitely be the way to do that.
Mhm.
If I'm being honest, I don't think I've thought this until today. I miss Colossus, boy. Like,
Yeah, that's an interesting type of, power
you
to
know,
have.
like
And
just
and
being
if you actually did him like any justice, he would be pretty cool.
he'd be awesome. He's stronger than
Mhm.
the Hulk,
Right.
except for the Hulk's the only one who can punch him, and he can really feel it.
Right. Oh, the Juggernaut too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Juggernaut,
Actually,
yeah.
Juggernaut. I think Juggernaut is the only
Juggernaut
thing that
cracked
can
him.
dent him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, crack. Yeah. Did he crack him or dent him?
One or the other. I know that in one of the movies he got cracked by the Juggernaut, I think.
That's crazy. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. When Juggernaut hit him full speed,
Mhm.
head on, and it literally shattered the entire armor, and it took him weeks to recover to
Yeah.
regrow it.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to see some new stuff. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Moon Knight. We'll see
hmm
where it goes. Right now, I'm not seeing powers that interest me. I'm
Right.
seeing Captain America with the Batman cape. Um, so like again, I really want to get some originality with the powers here,
Look,
because
you see Captain America with a Batman cape. I see Batman on shrooms.
yeah, emo Batman. Well,
Oh,
Batman's
well,
already
actually,
emo, so
Batman's super emo. Actually, Batman on ayahuasca.
there you go. Yeah.
That's what I see. Batman on ayahuasca.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Do you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up?
I am excited. However, I can definitely say the power set. I was not looking for the power sets, but just that wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be.
Mm,
But I think they have a lot of potential in this one, and mostly because I know that generally we are aware that they are shooting this at our age group. This is more towards the adults. Um, so if they hit well with this, I'm actually interested to see what they follow up with. So I want this to be good because I want them to have the confidence to give us more, uh, or I wouldn't call it borderline, but more growing content, more mature content.
I agree. I would like to see some of that. Yeah, cool. Well, I think we can wrap it up here, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this evening. We appreciate you. We're here every Wednesday and Sunday at 8:30 p.m., so be sure to check us out. We're reviewing movies and TV shows and the occasional trailer or two. Next week, we'll be back with episode 1 of Moon Knight for you guys. So come back with us next Wednesday, I believe. I think that's probably when we'll review it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next Wednesday, we'll be doing episode 1 of Moon Knight. So come check us out then. We all have podcasts that we do on our own as well. I got a podcast with Mike. It's called Exofathom. It's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. We're also on Rumble, Verbal, and Odyssey as well. Keelan's got a podcast. It's on at Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. It's called If Numbers Could Talk. You can check him out on Facebook and YouTube and on Spotify as well. If Numbers Could Talk, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Be sure to go give him a subscription. And Dijon the Mustard, friend of the channel and co-host, has a Twitch stream. It's called Strawberries and Coffee. You can check him out on Thursdays and Sundays at 10 p.m. It's where he streams on Twitch at Strawberries and Coffee. And he also has a YouTube channel, which he puts the archive streams on at Strawberries and Coffee on YouTube. But if you're a purist at heart and just want to hear us blabber on about movies and TV and trailers and all of that pop culture fun, thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
And I am Keelan.
Good night.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Woo-wee. All right.
You think that shit gonna be funny?
It's gonna be hilarious.